about to tell you about my creepypasta I had while playing Mario 3D World. It was a very good time. I loved this game a lot. I loved it so much. I played through all the levels, all the worlds and all the bosses. And one day I decided to just play it for fun. I played many worlds. I've played World 1, I played World 2, and I played some even levels twice. I was having a great time. Everything was going fine. Things were going how they should be. I was in my living room the whole time. It was one time, I decided to go back to World 2-1. When I noticed some things were a bit off, when I noticed some things were a bit off. I noticed how, when I logged into the level, the music on World 2-1, the first level of World 2, was a bit different. It didn't really play the music. And I don't know why. There was nothing in the settings that could stop music. Nothing. Music is there, the music is there, it'll play. It's not the settings that can enable or disable music. I even checked if there was a setting and there wasn't anything. And even if there was, it should be enabled. But it didn't play any music for some reason. I don't know if that was just a glitch or what, but the atmosphere felt different. How World 2-1 starts. This time it started really differently. I remember it used to be classic and I loved jumping through it, but for some reason it felt depressing. Like, it felt depressing, even like I couldn't even try to have fun in the game. It just felt really depressing. I just didn't know why that was the case. It just felt so depressing. My screen was dimmer as well, darker. I tried to brighten it, but it seemed as if that way made it stay dark. It just kept on being dark. I jumped through the levels, walked around. No enemies made any sound. There was no audio. It was like everything was muted. I couldn't really focus much. I couldn't really focus. I was really trying to play through the level. I got a checkpoint, and it didn't make that woohoo sound once Mario got the checkpoint. The level hit, and there was no even a sound, not even the sound that happens when you touch the top of the flagpole. I was normal Mario the whole time. I entered the outside world. I noticed things were different. I noticed how on the outside world of World 2, it seemed as if it was getting dawn, like the sun was setting. It really seemed like that. Like the sun was setting. It seemed as if it was just getting dark and really depressing. I tried to plug this onto my TV and see that if I could do that, hopefully this will sort things out. So I plugged it onto my TV, I used the TV, and I even brightened up the level on my TV. And it just got dark, it just did not work. Every time I tried to brighten it, the TV on the screen, it just still stayed dark. And it got even more depressing on the TV. How it was depressing on the gamepad, it felt as if the depression was much larger on the TV. So I stopped the TV. I stopped the TV straight away. But the game still continued. I looked around me and saw almost nothing. As I logged into World 2-2, the audio was back again. but was different. It was dark. The enemies made a weird sound when you hit them. I even heard some whispers during the time of playing the game. No idea why that was the case. I even heard whispers while I was playing it. Mario looked at me with a scared look on his face. It was really dark still. He looked at me with a scared face. I continued playing with him. He looked scared no matter where I took him. It just all seemed off and dark. It really did. There were even animals like Koopas and Goombas where you were to hit them, but except they didn't disappear. They just didn't disappear at all. They didn't. They were still there. What I assumed to be blood coming out from them. Mario really got scared. I could feel him shivering. I could actually feel it in real life. In my living room at the same time. This was broad daylight. I was playing this game in. So I decided to turn it off. This was broad. So it was light. It wasn't dark, and everything was fine. I only felt depressed for that bit. I could feel Mario shaking, and I actually got scared for myself. It felt as if he was really wanting me to get him out of there quickly. He really wanted me to get him out of there. I played, and I was walking, and I picked up what seemed to be the flower. The flower even refused to stay on Mario. He even jumped off Mario, as if Mario was not allowed to hold him. I kept on running with Mario. None of the flowers really wanted me to pick them up, as you could do. You could pick the flowers up, but they didn't really want to. Well, I was running, and I was walking when Mario stopped in a trance. He stopped, and he looked. He continued looking forward. I could tell he was scared by something. Then I saw Bowser. This is impossible. This is World 2-2. Bowser wouldn't be there. And I've played this before. How is Bowser there? There's not some kind of update, isn't there? That added Bowser. There's not an option to put Bowser right there. This is impossible. I know. Bowser roared. But the roar was very different audio. Sounded like an audio that I would never forget in my whole life. It was the weirdest, most disturbing audio of Bowser I have ever heard in my whole life. I got scared. My body actually scared, and felt I was about to cry. I didn't know this. It sounded like a screech. It sounded like a screech in audio. And I can't describe the way it sounded. It sounded much worse than any other audio I've ever had. I would be more happy to. I would have been more happy to play a horror game and then seen the most terrifying roar ever. This was worse than that. It sounded like an audio that even my gamepad couldn't handle. I ran straight past Bowser, beating the level. I got out of the level. My body finally managed to calm down. Mario was still scared though. He really wanted me to take him out. He seemed to calm down as if I got out of World 2-2. I didn't hesitate. I did not hesitate at all. I took Mario somewhere safe. I took him back to World 1-1. He felt much happier there. I kept Mario safe the whole time. Actually, I didn't take him to World 2-1-1. I still stayed in World 2-2. I logged the game off straight away. I I turned the game off, I locked it off, and powered the console. I just powered the console off straight away. As I powered it off, I could feel in real life. I could feel, guys, in real life that something's off. I could feel that I really need to log back into the game immediately. I could feel this feeling in my body. Kept on telling me like that there was like this feeling like it felt like Mario was telling me that I must save him. I could even feel the fear. I could feel the depression inside my body, and it sounded like it was coming from Mario. I couldn't stay there. I was starting to just not pay attention to it, but I ended up logging back into the game. I logged back into the game just to see Mario scared. I even logged back out of the game. So basically, as Mario doing World 2, I took him to World 1 away from the pipe to World 2. Mario seemed to be settled there. Everything was okay. Mario seemed to be happy. At this point, I did plug the console up. I did stop the gamepad straight away. I stopped the console. I unplugged it immediately. At this point, I plugged the console immediately, and I left it. And I've never touched the console again. I left it in a cupboard, and I never promised. I left it in a cupboard where nobody would touch it, and the console is there, and now it stays locked, and it's still there. Where it would stay locked. At this day, I've never played Mario 3D World or any other game like that ever again.